Boy. Happy May the 4th, everybody. All right. Thank you.
One person watching.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Thank you so much. Keith is on tonight. So, hey, look, we're going to try to get through this episode. May the 4th be with you. Thank you for joining us. We are here to talk about, we're ready to do a spoiler review on Star Wars Visions, Volume 2. All right. So we have seen these episodes. We just couldn't wait to start talking about them. So let's go. I am Kerwin. This is Keith. This is Father Son Galaxy. Okay. All right. So let's just start by saying, we want to thank Lucasfilm because we really had the opportunity to interview the executive producers, James Waugh, Jacqui Lopez, and Josh Rhimes. We had a very good conversation. And, it was wonderful. Overall, these episodes are just amazing, fantastic. And they're all different, but they bring a message. All right. Each episode has a message. All right. And whether it's cultural or a message about light and dark, I mean, it's wonderful. So
they all tell their own stories.
Yeah. I'm so glad that we were able to see how people around the world interpret Star Wars. All right. All right. So thank you, everyone. So if you're
everyone join us, may the 5th be with you,
Okay.
If y'all were paying attention.
If you're joining us for the first time, thank you. You can please, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to our channel. Please like this video as well. All right, Keith, let's start. So we're going to go through all 9 episodes. All right, we're going to do our review, spoiler review once again. All right. So hopefully you've seen them or, you're okay with hearing about what happened. Here we go.
Spoilers.
Okay, starting with
Sith by
Sith.
Guiri Studios.
Okay.
So this one, I love it. Watercolor, computer animated designs, and her painting. So she's an artist, by the way, and she has an unfinished painting. She's trying to balance out the light and darkness, but is struggling. So, she decides that she's not a Sith anymore. But all of a sudden, her Sith master shows up with backup, and they have an epic duel. And then she learns to embrace light and darkness as part of the painting.
Yeah.
And she ignites a double-bladed lightsaber and charges forward.
Yeah.
And let's just say the Sith Master, somehow made it to ash. First of all, real quick, that yellow lightsaber that Lola had, can we bring that up?
Mm-hmm.
But that was great. The lightsaber is super cool.
Yeah, it glows yellow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the lightsaber design there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The way it just emanates the light.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never seen this type of animation before, and it's fantastic. It's wonderful. I mean, it's like a watercolor animation. And how the colors represent, when she started going up against the Sith, the colors started to get darker. So you saw the red and the orange and the yellow. So it was incredible. And right at the beginning, it would start off as white, and to me, it just looked like an unfinished painting. Right, like you said, there was something that was missing. So there was some of the darkness that was trying to get into the painting, and she's trying to avoid the darkness, but she realized that
she needed to embrace
the darkness because she's a little of both. Like we all are, we have a light and dark side.
Speaking a little bit of both, let's move on to Screecher's Reach.
Okay, let's move on to Screecher's Reach. Okay, all right.
Do
you want me to read this one or you got it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
So, this story takes place at a mining facility, and there's this apparently it's a girl named Doll, and she is a child worker who really wants to escape Screecher's Reach. So she takes her friends Balon, Quinn, and Kita to go to Screecher's Reach. And she ends up in a dark cave, separated from her friends. And then all of a sudden, it turned into a horror movie, and the Banshee came out and went, ah!
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of screaming from me this episode.
The railing, okay. The wailing, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, the wailing Banshee.
Yep.
And finally, Doll learns to overcome her fears and strikes the Banshee down in its place. And actually wins the fight, but there's a little more to it than that, because as we find out at the end, the Sith Mother granted her strength to defeat the monster. And she gives Doll the choice to either become her apprentice or go back to working in the factory. And she says, don't look back. Bye, guys. But she looks back.
Yeah, right. Did she make the right decision?
Part 2 coming in Vision Season 3.
We don't know that. Okay, that's what we're speculating. All right. So this was it was scary. All right, let's start off with that. It was scary. I don't know much about
what was that ghost, man?
Yeah, so apparently it's based on an Irish folktale. All right,
Banshee.
Banshee, right? And the Banshee is a woman who does screech and wail, but that's her way of warning that death is approaching. All right, something is
For
bad.
her.
Well, something is bad is going to happen to somebody. All right,
Somebody's gonna get messed up.
yeah, it was what I like the most about this episode is, and we're going to talk about this because it's actually something that we've seen in other episodes as well, where this girl Doll reaches a point where she is defending herself, and this ghost is apparently a ghost of a Sith, probably. She grabs the ghost's lightsaber and defeats the ghost with her own lightsaber.
Yeah, by the way, we panned up from that. Just classic Star Wars esque. We hear the lightsaber come down, like, and then we just pan out.
Mm-hmm. Right, so you don't see it happen, you just hear it landing. Now, this person, she has this medallion
have
where
a good day.
Yes, so she has this medallion where she is
praying to
yeah,
God.
Well, I was going to say praying to, give me strength. And we don't know exactly who she's talking to.
This
and
girl's
she's
just like praying to God that she's going to survive this fight with a ghost.
Yeah, it's
like thousands of years old and has a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out not to be God, obviously, but it's a Sith
monster.
Yeah, so
I would not have been surprised if Morgan Freeman was on that ship.
Okay, I don't get that, but
because he plays God so many times.
Oh, okay, that's true. Okay, all right. So Doll, after defeating the Banshee, she's approached by this person. Looks very elegant. She lands on a ship. She is dressed, but you can tell. Okay, she's wearing red. Her eyes are yellowish, right?
And then they turn red.
And right, so that she's trouble. And what she does is, she says, well, you did well. You passed the test.
She walked in.
Well, you passed the test. Now it's time for you to come with me. And then Doll, like, okay, well, can I take, my friends with me? And she says, no. Like cuts her down. Like, no, are you kidding me? Like, no, this is about you. You need to come now or make your choice. Now, funny? Yeah, what's funny?
More importantly, Doll tried to give her the lightsaber, but the lady's like, that is yours now.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been like, oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, but that would. Oh, so you're talking about taking down the Sith Mother? Well, that would just lead you further down the dark path, wouldn't it?
And then I would take a play out of Luke Skywalker's book, but to the next degree, and kick the lightsaber into the ocean.
I don't know. Okay.
Either that, I would just march back up to the factory and be like, "So you thought using children to do the dirty work was a good idea, huh, buddy? Well, let me show you how good of an idea that was right here."
Well, here's the thing. So the Sith Mother tells Doll, make your choice. But did she really have a choice? Because if Doll would have said, you know what, now I'm good. I'm going to go back to the factory, even though this is not the life I want for myself. I don't want to work this factory, work this hard. Would Sith Mother have let her go? I think she would have forced her to go with her.
Probably.
Yeah, even if she said no.
But then again, the Sith Mother appered unarmed. I mean, she probably had a lightsaber hidden in that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Or maybe she has Force lightning. Who knows? But
the thing is, I think Doll had the element of surprise there. She could have just been like, but
you're still talking about taking down taking down the Sith Mother. Okay, Sith Mother.
Not that hard.
Well, okay. Well, again,
and then you go back to the factory. Free all the children. Slice up some of the factory equipment, as a show of power.
Interesting. Okay.
And then you kick the lightsaber into the ocean, and you fly off in the sunset.
And then it's over.
Ba-boom!
Okay. All right. I never thought of that. But
no one does.
Okay, that's fine. But my favorite part of this episode, the short, was Doll. You could tell Doll is hesitant. She doesn't want to go, but she says, she's thinking, okay, I could have a better life. Anything is better than what I have now. And she tells her friends, don't look back, right? And then as she gets on the ship, and as soon as the doors are slowly closing, you see her looking back. Like, okay, well, what am I getting myself into?
What was that goofy smile Doll has? She was like,
I think it's a little bit of hesitancy, a little nervousness.
Don't look back.
I would love to see. I would love to know if there is a further story about this episode. Like, is there more to this episode? Because I like to know what would happen. What happens to Doll? Does she become a Sith, or does she change her mind? She tries to escape. We don't know, but it was.
What would be super easy to just kick the space mother.
Okay, all right. You told us 3
times. The airlock,
okay,
and fly the ship.
We have Q&A. How about that? All right, let's go to Q&A. Thank you all for joining us. All right, and we know. Look, the episodes just dropped today, and there's 9 of them. People are taking their time to get through them, but hey, we couldn't wait. Dallas, I saw all the shorts. All right, yay! All right, so great. So let us know what you think about any of them as we're going through them. Alex, so true. I love the messages of light and dark in the ones that I saw. Okay. Once again, it's going to be a spoiler review, so just remember that. But thank you, Alex, for sharing that. I see Keith's 5th Sith comments. Is Keith an aspiring Sith Lord?
I did have a red lightsaber at one point.
Yeah.
Like a week ago, Dad.
Okay, we're not going to go down that route. Okay, we're not going to take that road. Dallas,
I actually had 4 lightsabers in total a week ago, Dad.
Dallas, all beautiful, difficult to choose a favorite. Yeah, I agree. Alex, as an artist myself, I love the first one, Sith. Love the themes, also amazing artwork as well. Yes, that's true. Yeah, it was wonderful. I love the colors in Sith. Charlie, I would definitely rewatch later. I'm on the first episode. They all look great. Happy May the 4th. Thank you, Charlie. Happy May the 4th to you. All right. Alex, so true. Light and dark are both a part of life, also a part of art. The symbolism and themes are perfect. There you go. All right. That's wonderful. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get you some water. All right. So let's move on. We're done with Screecher's Reach. Anything else we want to say? Okay. All right. So I'll read the next one then. Yeah. You good? All right. So In the Stars. By the way, did we mention? Okay, I wanted to mention
Cartoon Saloon, Ireland. That's
right. Guiri Studios, Spain. Did Sith? Okay, wasn't sure. Okay, all right. In the Stars by Punkrobot from Chile. Punkrobot. Tachina is a painter, like her mother, who had a great strength. She has the Force. Then came the Empire, and the Empire took the planet's clean water and poisoned all living things on the planet. Mother faced down the Empire herself, but she was taken down. Mother became a star, like so many others who perished. Tachina and her sister, Kotin, are the only survivors on the planet.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
That's really sad. I feel bad, especially for the mother, because you saw the AT-AT coming, and the mother just kept trying to lift the water tank when she had a good 5-second window to move out the way.
Yeah.
Because those AT-ATs are slow, but like, I'm going to lift the water. Pew, pew! That's sad.
Yeah. I love how Tachina used art to tell the story about what happened to her mother. I thought it was very, very powerful, very emotional. And her mother just was a brave woman. She went there, with other villagers and tried to take down the Empire, but the Empire is too powerful,
The Empire was strong.
Exactly. So older sister Kotin goes to the Empire facility to get clean water for her and her sister. Younger sister follows and is caught. They fight their way out. They use the Force to survive. The Empire facility is destroyed. The stars return, and their land is restored.
Yep.
All right.
Happy ending.
So now, eventually. So
happy.
So here we go. The Empire occupying another planet. That's what they do. The Empire do what it does.
What it do?
They do what it do. So they come in, and the first thing they do is take all the clean water. And then once they get what they need, then they poison the atmosphere. They poison all living things. And now they're polluting the air with this factory. I don't even know what they were creating in the factory, but
smog.
You couldn't see anything.
They were killing the tough trees.
Yeah, I mean, the plant life, everything.
There were no more tough trees on the planet.
Yeah, all
so
destroyed.
Somebody had to speak for the trees because the trees could not speak.
Right. So at the
Did you get the joke, Dad?
I'm trying to tell the story. Okay, so Tachina, this little girl, she has a force because when she sees a TIE fighter coming, she puts out a hand to try to stop the TIE fighter, but apparently, of course, that didn't work.
Her sister pulls her back.
Well, true, right?
She's like, the TIE fighter almost had you.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But her sister is just being the protector, right? She's just making sure that her sister is safe.
Mm-hmm.
So we
First of all, the older sister is the one with the staff, which is like awesome.
Yeah, right. And she's also her sister's. Well, they're both very brave.
I'd be good at spinning a staff.
Mm-hmm.
Buy me a staff.
Okay, let's finish the story. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. So the older sister Koten tries to get water. Speaking of water.
Yeah.
Tries to get water, clean water. So she goes to the Empire factory, and she actually gets in without being seen, and her sister gets caught, and then
everything was all quiet.
Everything was fine
until her sister.
Good.
And then her sister's like, "I'm helping."
Yeah, her sister
and
wanted to help.
Caught instantly.
Yeah. So she wanted to help out, and she ends up getting caught herself, and they got trapped.
That could not be me.
But they had to the two of them had to work together in order to use the Force in a powerful manner, right? So when they both put their hands out, they didn't know exactly what was going to happen. What they did was destroy the water tower and destroy the facility and everybody on it. And then the clean water was restored. And then at some point, plant life came back, and then the smog was gone, and they were able to see the stars again. Yeah. So that was a pretty cool episode.
And the tough trees grew back.
Yeah, it was a beautiful episode. So when at Celebration, the writer Gabriel Osorio wrote about, he was describing what the story is about, and he says two sisters who lost everything, their family during imperial invasion. The story is loosely based on a South American historical information where a large part of the inhabitants were destroyed by colonists. So this tells a story similarly, right, where the Empire are colonizing, right? And then the theme is about family, like these sisters are all they have, and they had to work together.
They used to have truffle trees, but they're gone.
Yeah, in order to, their family got separated, but what they did to overcome the Empire brought them closer together and gave them hope.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And so did the truffle trees.
Okay.
I said top, I meant to say truffle.
That's fine. Okay. All right. So that is in the stars. All right. So we're going to move to the next one.
Yes.
I Am Your Mother. You got this one?
Oh, right.
Okay.
So this was by Aardman from the UK.
Yes.
Also my personal favorite, because my mom's right here. Love you, Mom.
Yeah. There you go.
You too, honey.
Okay.
Mom's first speaking role debut on her live stream.
Yeah, not true.
Second.
All right.
Remember, Mom was on for the birthday special.
Yes.
When we were talking about our mom's.
I Am Your Mother.
Yes.
Yes.
Something I hear a lot. So they're on Ryloth, the home of the Hannah City Flight Academy.
Yes.
Which is a celebration of pilot trainees and their families, and it's hosted by none other than Wedge Antilles. So Annie and her mother, Calendar, are Twi'leks, and she's a cadet from the Rebel Flight Academy. Yeah. But she doesn't want to tell her mom about the race because she's embarrassed by her eccentric mom and their quote-unquote porta potty. Let me just give you a quote. So the band Reaples, a.k.a. the Vaders, one of them's like,
yeah.
Excuse me, could you get your porta potty off the starting line, please? Wow, that was
very rude.
A+ acting there.
Yeah.
And I actually mean that though. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they actually team up. The funny thing is, her mother comes back to drop off her lunch.
Right. Yeah. So we're talking about Annie's mother.
Mm-hmm. Annie's mother comes back to drop off her lunch.
Yes.
And then realizes there's a race. So they race, and it's tied to 2. All that's left is the boxcar and the Van Riepels. The boxcar wins. The Van Riepels can't even get over the finish line because their ship falls like right on its tip and then goes backwards.
Right. Second place is last place, right?
Oh, second place is last place.
And they didn't even make second place. That was pretty interesting. That was funny. You done with the description?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
By the way, they win the race, and Annie's mother says, "Of course I'm embarrassing. I am your mother."
There you go.
Fireworks!
Now that, right, and the fireworks at the end. So, by the way, so we did say that it was a guest appearance by Wedge Antilles, voiced by Dennis Lawson.
Yes.
Wedge Antilles himself.
OG.
Yes, Dennis Lawson, which is pretty cool. I completely had no idea. Well, I had an idea what I Am Your Mother was going to be about. Of course, thinking Star Wars. This was a Sith mother who has a daughter who's trying to get her mother to turn to the light side.
I absolutely did not think that.
You didn't think? I thought it was just exactly the same story, except that it was just mother and daughter instead of father and son. But this has nothing to do with that. This is just a beautiful story.
By the way, I'd like to confirm I was
mother
right.
and daughter.
This one is centered more around the Sith and the darkness in the Force.
All right, well, we're talking about I Am Your Mother still.
But I'm talking about in general.
Okay, all right.
In general.
Yes.
But this episode was nice. It was light.
Yeah.
It was such a relief.
Yeah, it was a very heartwarming story. Mm-hmm. And, even when I saw the title for the first time, I read it as if it said, I am your mother. But it doesn't have it doesn't resonate the same way.
Because she said it British.
Well,
she said it British-esque, like, I am your mother. Like,
Not that she was making it.
She wasn't making it a statement like, I am your mother. You will listen. She's like, I am your mother.
Right. Like,
not, I am your mother. You will listen to me. No one's listening to anything you say. Take this lightsaber. Go harvest some crops from some farmer you don't even know. Cut it down.
Okay. All right. Journey to the Dark Head.
All right. Let's go to the opposite side of the galaxy for a minute.
No, it was a beautiful story. We really loved it. I wanted to just go back to a quote that was said at Star Wars Celebration. This was by Magdalena Osinka, who is the writer, director, and writer. She mentioned that it's a love letter. This episode is a love letter to all the mothers, and quite often they're overlooked in films. And they are the real superheroes. And, we totally agree with that. So it was a truly a beautiful mother and daughter episode. So wonderful.
Shout out to all the moms who are watching this.
Exactly. Right. It's not
especially you, mom.
It is not an easy job, as mothers know. So, all right. So let's move on to Journey to the Dark Head.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. You got this one?
You do it.
Okay. Journey to the Dark Head is from Studio Mir, South Korea. A young girl, her name is Ara. She sees a vision, a clash between two people, possibly a third taking place sometime in the future. A wise leader tells Ara, war and conflict are constants, both built on sands to ebb and flow for all eternity. That's going to be important. Go ahead.
Anyone else ever realize that every quote is from an ancient old man with the longest beard in the world?
Okay, well,
every quote that's considered wise is just from some ancient old.
Okay, we don't refer to them as ancient. We just say wise.
Yeah, but I mean like Sun Tzu.
Who's that?
Please. Did you watch the Potato War?
No. You tell me who it is. You're leaving me a suspense.
So Technoblade won the Potato War.
Okay.
And he was guided by by the teachings of Sun Tzu, who wrote The Art of War.
Okay.
Who gave wise and unclear quotes such as, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Or let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night. And when you move, fall like a thunderbolt.
Okay.
Or, you fool, don't reveal all your taxes in a YouTube video. You idiot. You moron.
Okay. Wonderful.
technically made that up.
Yeah, I can tell. All right, so Ara is familiar with these two statues, right? One that represents dark, one that represents light. And she is tired of the conflict. She's tired of war. So she wants to cut off the, excuse me?
Who isn't tired of war?
Well, right. I mean, look, so she wants to cut off the head of the dark statue. Okay. That's something
this is not a physical person. It's just a statue.
Right. It's a statue. So she's spoken to this wise man about this. And, what he's saying to her is that there's nothing you could do about it. There's always going to be light and dark. War is inevitable. Okay. Conflict is inevitable. So there's no way to, it continues throughout time, from the beginning of time to the end of time, war, conflict. But she is still on a mission. So, we see her a few years later, and she goes and seeks help from the Jedi, and they offer a Jedi to accompany her. He is a young Jedi, but he has actually gone through some dark times himself.
Had some trauma.
He's had some trauma, right? So this is his name is Toll, all right, and he has seen, like we said, the dark times when a Sith actually took down his Jedi master. We've seen this story before.
Bashan, right?
Yes, right. Yep, Bashan. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. So he has nightmares of this Sith Lord coming after his master, coming after him. So it's something that he's going to have to deal with, right? But at some point he does. Bashan does show up, and there's this wonderful lightsaber. It was a clash. But the moral of the story is that nothing was resolved because we're going back to the statues, and like I said, one was represented light, one represented dark. So one was red, so that's dark, right? The other one was blue, which is light. But what happens is the colors intermingle and they intertwine, right? So
they became purple.
You have both statues actually representing a balance. So both statue has one red and blue mixed in. You have the other statue, one red and one blue. So I was confused, like, what do I do now? But again, going back to what.
Oh, by the way, she figures out that the painting she saw like a decade ago, she's the one in the middle.
She's the one in the middle, right? She is the one that's trying to break up this conflict and this battle, and
she can choose her side, and climactically, she chooses the dark side, and she destroys the Jedi, and rules the galaxy.
What story is this? Okay,
she chose the light side.
All right, so that's the lesson learned. I think she
made
to
a
realize. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. She and Toll, seem to be very good friends. They're on the same side, but all right. Q&A.
Let's hear it.
All right, Eric Elliott. Hello there. Hello, Eric. Thank you for joining us.
Alex. In the Stars is beautiful a movie, and it generally has real life parallels. One of my favorite shorts.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Mm-hmm. This season is a mixed bag of art styles and touring conventions.
Yes, it is. Yeah. True. Yeah, very true. Keith, posh accent was well done. Posh.
Would you like to hear it again?
Oh, there you go.
Either way, you will.
Haha, I Am Your Mother was so fun. A neat story. I like how lighthearted it was, and the mother-daughter bond. Yeah, it was really, it was wonderful. Yes.
To school you. Sun Tzu was a military strategist. The Art of War is a great book. I recommend it.
Alex, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Mom read it.
Okay.
Become a man of culture and read Sun Tzu's The Art of War.
Okay. All right. Now,
we roast our parents on this channel.
I don't know how you know about this, right? Because I've never seen you read the book, but apparently, you got the internet out there, so you can find things very quickly without reading. So, Alex,
just kidding, kids, respect your parents, please.
Yeah. Thrawn reminds me of Sun Tzu. What do you think? I think that's a good point. Alex, again, Father Son Galaxy. I've read the Thrawn comic, but he reminded me of Sun Tzu, Art of War, because of how strategic he is and how well he knows his foes. That sounds like Thrawn.
Oh!
Yeah, absolutely.
True.
I think we may even have that book in our library.
What?
I think we may have that book in the library.
The Art of War or Thrawn?
No, the Art of... Well, we got the Thrawn book too.
Well, yeah, we got
the trilogy. No, there's more than three. But we're talking about Star Wars Visions. All right, so let's go. All right, Journey to the Dark Head. All right, so that was number 5. Okay, so on to number 6, The Spy Dancer. This is from Studio La Cachette from France. You want me to go ahead and read this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the Spy Dancer. Imperial stormtroopers hang out to see a performance. Hey, have you ever wondered how does the stormtroopers, want to let off some steam, when they're not, poo-pooing and everything,
when they're not shooting up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
When they're not shooting up a storm, but missing every shot.
Right. When they need to take a break, where do they go? They go to one of these places. So it's a nice, elegant place with performances.
It's like a cantina, but with live performances.
Yeah. Yes. So Louis is her name. She's a dancer and a spy. Louis? Okay.
Yeah.
Louis is a dancer and a spy for the rebellion. Her mission is to place trackers on the armor or suits of Imperial workers. So she is working for the rebellion, and she's making sure she's giving these trackers to place on the uniforms so that she can track their moves wherever they go. Louis sees someone from her past, an ISB agent. So this ISB agent takes this seat on the balcony. And when she sees this ISB agent, she just, so she just loses her balance. Something happens to her, like where she just gets lost in her performance.
Out of the sky.
Right. She was, in mid performance, and all of a sudden she sees
that shot there.
Officer, and then she just loses her balance and she falls.
And her daughter has to catch her in what the stormtroopers thought was the greatest act ever.
Right. The stormtroopers had no idea what was going on.
They're like, I can't see a thing in this helmet. That was probably planned.
They're clueless as usual.
Doi!
So it turns out that something very traumatic happened to Louis. Did I pronounce that right?
I thought it was Louis.
Louis. Something
how you like.
Very traumatic happens to her. But 20 years ago, there was an ISB agent, right? So this high-ranking agent took her child away.
Oh,
all right. Yeah. Now that's
Imperial child abduction.
Right. And that is not something that's new with the Empire. Right.
Man.
Well, no, it's right. Of course it's not okay, but it reminded me of a similar story that happened with
Adventures of
Darth. Well, you have to remind me of that one, but I was going to say Darth Maul. Remember Darth Maul, the Emperor took Darth Maul from his the Night Sisters at a very young age. You remember that?
Yeah, I do. By the way, Palpatine added most of Darth Maul's markings himself. And the Maul added the rest on with the laser.
Well, keep that point.
I heard that, at least.
All right, well, keep that point because this is relevant to the story. All right, so she finds out that, this ISB agent, took her child away. We don't know if it was a son or a daughter, which is very smart. Took away her child, and now it's 20 years later. And
I thought she said it was a son.
No, she did not at the beginning because I actually got fooled. They really had me, so I'll explain it. So this ISB agent comes back to her establishment, and she's thinking that, okay, this must be the same agent, but it's not. It's someone younger. Okay,
someone the same age as her son.
Well, again, we didn't know that the child that was taken away was a son because
we know
if we knew. All right, okay. So let me tell the story. So
let me tell you a story.
So when I saw this ISB agent, I said, okay, well, this is, if this was the same man who took her child away 20 years ago, he would have been older. But this is somebody young. So I thought it was maybe a descendant, the son of the Imperial officer. That's what
either that or an imposter.
Well, no, I thought it was, like a descendant, like the son.
Yeah, that was what I
technically it is because it's her son as well, because this is he was taken away when he was a baby and he had no idea where he's from. So Louis realizes that this boy who is now an Imperial officer was her son that was taken away from her 20 years ago.
And Louis like, oh my God.
Yeah. Now I don't know the species. All right.
Me neither.
Yeah. But apparently this species, they're born with horns on each side of their head. So when he was taken away, this little boy, the horns were removed, right? So the Empire apparently.
they're probably like a Deveronian where the horn is like a mass of keratin. So like if it's removed, you don't feel it.
Could be something similar to that, although their horns are a little bit bigger, right? Right. But the Empire wanted them removed, so they were removed. So we know that because
we saw the circles.
Yes. So when
I was the only one to notice that. My mom said they were covered by his hair, and my dad just didn't notice it until I pointed it out, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Right? Yeah, I was so taken aback by this episode. This episode was riveting. Okay. All right.
First of all, this is the entire Andor series in a 15-minute short.
This one had me on the edge of my seat. I loved it.
Like it was so close to Andor that I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. I just loved the reveals towards the end. Yes,
it was suspenseful, but it wasn't dark.
I thought it was a little dark, but if you didn't think it was dark,
out the darkness. I'd say.
Yeah. I think maybe not dark.
Like death, blasters. Oh my god, the mother's gone. Nerds. Like
No, maybe not dark, but maybe excitement. I think I was feeling excitement and anxiousness. It was really.
I saw my dad jump out of his seat.
Like I said, this was fantastic.
That's the second time I've seen you do that.
Right.
The first time was when we heard Celebration.
All right. If I could just wrap this up, please. Thank you, Keith.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
So the son gets back on his Imperial ship, and you can now that he is her son, because when he removes his hat, you see space where the horns used to be.
And the eye patch is covering his yellow eye.
Exactly. That's the other thing, too. So, the species have two different eye colors. So, he had one patch covering one of the eyes.
Because blue is a more normal eye color than yellow.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, right. Blue is more acceptable. Blue eyes, right?
Yeah.
Very good point. Yeah. Yeah. This was a stunning episode. I love this. And then the last second of the episode, you hear that tracker going off. So, as a spy, what she does for a living, she was able to get that tracker onto her son, so now she can keep tabs of where he is, right? Yeah. So wonderful episode.
So it's a bittersweet ending.
It was a bittersweet ending, right? And then again, the director Julian Chang talked about how this episode was an inspiration from what took place during World War II, where there were French dancers, one in particular, Josephine Baker, right, who was a spy for the French Revolution, and this is what she did for a living, So that was very awesome to bring something that happened in reality and just make it into a Star Wars episode. It was brilliant. Alex, Spy Dancer is great. I remember you mentioned before how it was inspired by Josephine Baker. Yes, I saw the parallels. It was a superb episode with a great twist. Absolutely.
Thanks.
I agree. Yeah.
All right.
Do you have any other Q&A?
No.
Okay. All right, let's move on. The Bandits of Golak. You take this one.
All right.
Yeah.
Personally, I liked this episode because I felt it was a bit relatable.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, tell me why.
I'll tell you.
Can't wait to. Okay, go ahead.
So Charuk and his brother is Charuk is the brother, and he has a sister named Roddy who's force sensitive, and she ends up exposing her force powers in public, accidentally, and they end up on the run from the Empire because everyone who was on the subway train where they were caught wants to hunt them down. So eventually they find a village, but there's an Inquisitor who's very interested in Roddy, realizing that she's force sensitive. And all of a sudden, there's a Jedi on Golak. And there's an epic battle that ensues between the Jedi and the Inquisitor. Great lightsaber battle. The slow-mo shots were amazing.
Yes.
However, Roddy, since she has special powers, she has to leave and follow her own path to become a Jedi.
Yeah.
So she returns the flute belonging to her father back to Charuk and disappears.
Yeah, so here we go again. So here we have another young child.
Also, it was like Clone Wars style animation.
Yeah.
This was good.
I thought maybe a little bit of Toy Story animation, something about this animation. It really popped off the screen. It was wonderful. But I want to say about, we talked about, the rules of the Jedi, and apparently the Sith has the same rules where they feel, okay, well, this kid's got a gift, whether it's for light or dark. We want you to join us, and we want you to join us right now.
Like that Uncle Sam poster. We want you to join us right now. Get over here. You
don't get a chance to even think about it.
It's like, listen.
It's like you have to make that decision right then and there.
The Sith are the masters of child abduction. They're like,
which ones?
The Sith.
The Sith.
They're the masters of child abduction. They just be like, hello, You're gonna come with us now. You're gonna get a lightsaber, maybe some dark robes, become a master of evil. It's gonna be cool. Like,
well, I don't know.
but at least the Jedi get permission. They're like, "Can we take your son now?"
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that's true. But in this case, I didn't get the name of the Jedi, but did the Jedi ask Sharuk permission to take his sister?
No.
No. Well, so
I mean, usually.
Yeah, well, usually.
I mean,
again, like this is something that
it's kind of a kidnapping move. Like,
no, it's
I'm
not.
just gonna take your sister now. Thank you.
It's just something that I battle with. I think about it, and then it's so much pressure for a young child to be placed in, where you have to decide either I go and learn the ways of the Force or the Sith, whatever, to use my powers, or stay with my family.
They pull a Luke move on it.
You have both. We've had this conversation over and over.
They pull a Luke move on it.
Yeah,
they're like, you can have the lightsaber. Yeah. You can take up the lightsaber of my former master.
Yeah.
It is amazing, well crafted.
Yeah,
you can become a Jedi, or you can go back to your boring regular family.
Yeah. I just don't like the idea of little children being pulled away from their family.
Like,
I mean, not
importantly, it's usually at a young age. Yeah. Like 9 is considered old for Jedi training.
True. That's true.
Like, one of the main reasons Anakin took so long to be trained is because they thought he was too old.
Yeah,
like, usually these children are abducted 2 or 3.
Exactly. Well, you're using the word abduction. We don't want to say abduction.
If I were a parent, I'd be like, first of all, who are you? Why am I supposed to trust you with my newborn? And secondly, you can get out now.
Right. Look,
I'm like, unless you want to give me the lightsaber, we can do some home training.
Again,
you can leave.
Mm-hmm. It's just very sad to just see,
Yeah, they put a lot of pressure on these kids. Yeah, you're right.
A child leave their loved one behind, and they ask the same question. Right. And they ask the same question before they go. They say, well, can I take my brother or can I take my friends? And they go, no, it's not about them. It's about you.
Like, why? Like, don't these Jedi know how to sling a blaster? Can't they turn Sharuk into like the Han Solo of this series?
Yeah. The point is,
just give him like a blaster and a cool outfit.
She has the gift. He doesn't. It was just a very, bittersweet, I guess, a sad moment, for her. I trust this Jedi, and I'm sure she wouldn't mislead this child. But we don't know if Sharuk
underground, though.
would ever see his sister again. I think that's the problem that I deal with.
It's funny. The Jedi and the Sith just tend to separate families.
Yeah.
Like, why can't
that's what we've been saying, yeah.
Exactly. Why can't they just put the family on an economy flight, or if they want to be nice, first class, fly them out to Coruscant, and have them get a luxury apartment for while their child is training.
So at Celebration, Milan Shin, the executive producer of the Bandits of Golak, mentioned that it's got action, it's got adventure, it's about food, color, and music. Yes, yes, and yes. I mean, it was wonderful. The food, the I don't know what it's called,
but little sweets.
It was like it's shaped like a big lollipop
that they plundered.
Yeah, yes, and I love the music, the color. I mean, it was the animation was just fantastic. It was glorious. Okay, and the Indian culture, you saw that, you felt that in this episode. And then he also mentioned that he described the short as Chile, which is a 1975 classic Indian film, meets Indiana Jones. Now, I know you have not seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, so I'm not going to tell you what he means by that.
Please
don't.
But
once you see the Last Crusade, then it would make sense to you. So that is the Bandits of Golak.
Isn't that the one where he says, Indy, leave it?
Yes. Yeah, that's towards the end. So, right. I don't want to tell you
that clip.
Yeah, but you got to see the whole thing.
Thanks for ruining the experience.
It's not ruined. Okay. Anything else about the Bandits of Golak? Oh,
no.
Okay. All right. What about the Inquisitor? Pretty cool, right? Yeah, I know we mentioned him, but
double-bladed saber though.
Yeah.
My guy just rolled up like, I know it's you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was very cool. And like again, I'm not a fan of the slow-mo, like in film. But this worked.
Like when Flash ran for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the fastest man alive, but like he takes more time to run than Batman.
I wasn't going to give any examples.
In sandals.
But Keith did.
in 100-degree weather.
All right, let's move on. So now we got the pit.
Carrying 200 pounds.
All right, would you like me to read the pit, or would you like to read the pit?
All right, you read the pit.
All right, so this is episode number 8, The Pit, by Lucasfilm Limited and the Shtajio Studios from Japan. So the United States and Japan together. All right, so let's talk about this episode. So prisoners of the Empire, they dig a giant pit to find kyber crystals. Kyber crystals are very popular, very, very valuable. So once they reach rock bottom, they're digging and digging and digging, and all they're doing is just looking for kyber crystals.
And
so
eventually they hit a point where they can't find it.
Right, yeah. So they hit rock bottom. They they dig so deep that they're in a position where if they wanted to get out of the pit, they can't. They can't. It's too far down. It's too far down.
They're like 6 feet under.
Yeah.
Now multiply that by 15.
So the main character name is Crux, right? So he escapes to tell others about what happened to these people, where they are, and they need help. So Crux talks about looking for someone who has the light to help all of his people there.
The
all right.
Force.
Yes. Right. The crystals found by the prisoners were used to help build the city. Crux is captured, and he's thrown into the pit. And we're going to talk more about this. So
yeah, they just chucked my guy into the pit.
We're going to talk more about this. So a little
girl. One of them came out with a tarp and rest in peace.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this episode speaks to me. All right. So I want to talk about this episode. So first of all, it's again classic Empire where they're into slave labor. They take people prisoners, not prisoners because they committed a crime, because we know that these
just because they need people
because they just need people
because
right.
They're lazy.
Exactly right. That's what they do. That's what the Empire does, right? And you have families also working for them in this pit. All right. And again, they get to a point where this pit is so deep. How are they going to get out? But one man's sacrifice, right, starts a movement. That's what I got.
A revolution.
Right. A movement. Right. Exactly. So
movement across the nation.
So the character Crux decide that he's going to go and figure out how to climb out of this pit and get help. Right. And he shared something with a little girl, right? He didn't share it with...
I thought that was his sister.
I don't know if they were related. Could be.
It might be.
Right. He didn't share it with someone his age. He didn't share it with a person older, because I think if he were to tell them what he was planning to do, they would try to talk him out of it. They said, well, you can't, there's no way you can climb out. Just, it is what it is. He did what?
Climb out.
I know, Keith. I'm telling a story. Yeah. If he was talking to somebody who was older, they would say, well, why? You're not gonna make it. Don't do it. Stay with us. But he went to this little girl, and he says something that was very, very powerful.
He
says,
poster too, the image of them together with the crystal.
Yeah. So he says, everyone has an inner light. No matter how dark, it is always there to guide you the right way. It lives in us all. So what he's saying to her is, even the meanest person that you meet, there is still some light in that person. There's light in all of us, right?
It's like a droplet of it.
Yes.
It could be an atomic level of light.
Mm-hmm.
Could be subatomic.
Right. There's something there, right? So now he gets out and he manages to climb out of the pit. He goes to the city and he asks for help. All right. And the people are listening. But of course, the Empire, stormtroopers come in and, they grab him and they stun him.
You're a disturbance to the public.
Yeah, they stun him. And then what they do, they could have just put him back in prison, or, put him in some type of...
They could have given him a nice room in the Gray Bar Hotel, but no.
Right. But what they do is they take him and throw him back into the same pit where he came from, right? Which to me speaks of, the brutality that takes place with a black body. All right. So they could have done anything else. Right. They could have done anything else to imprison this young man, but they decided that, he wasn't worth it. And they threw them back.
Just chuck them back like a fish that you don't want when you go fishing.
Right.
Throw it back.
Right. So it's right in the hands of law enforcement. That's what happens.
Not always.
Unfortunately, that's what happens.
There's stormtroopers who are good.
Well,
like Finn.
But here's what I like about Visions and these episodes. Like, you're going to tell stories that are beyond, like you said, when we were interviewing the executive producers, they tell stories beyond what
Jackie, James, and Josh.
Yes. They would tell
three J's.
You tell stories beyond what you see in Star Wars, right? And it's about bringing culture. So to me, what I see is law enforcement brutality, police brutality, right? Again, they could have saved this man's life. They could have put him in prison. That would have been just as impactful, but they didn't. But
and they could have pulled out like a bullhorn and been like, "Your friend is in prison. There's no hope for you."
Right. And then what that does, unfortunately, the sacrifice of one, is a movement for others, and they stand up and they start chanting, "Follow the light, follow the light," and they chant it so loud that the citizens of the area could hear them, and they come out late at night with their lamps
and
to
torches.
See. Right, they had to see it for themselves. Okay, well, are these people really in this pit? Like,
and
what's going on?
The stormtroopers are like, "Let's get out of here!"
Right, and they just, of course, they got scared and just turned around and didn't stop the people. And then what did the people do? They listened. They did something good, and they brought these vehicles back to pick up these people from the pit and take them out of there.
Yeah, two things.
Yeah, sure.
One, there was not a tarp down there when before the stormtroopers threw them. So the stormtroopers must have thrown down a tarp to prepare them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
go ahead.
They just kind of had Crux sitting because there was no way to get out of the pit. So they were all stuck in there.
True.
Along with Crux and the tarp.
Yeah.
So he was just probably sitting in a corner.
Okay.
That's disturbing.
I got you. I'm
just now realizing this.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I understand. Yeah. All right. So wonderful. Let's go.
Let's move on to something happy.
Yeah. This was a powerful story for me, and I wanted to talk about it. All right, Alex. Yeah, I don't like how the Jedi children have to choose. The Jedi teachings against attachments and emotions are controversial and can be harmful. Yes, agreed. Yeah, it's just something that I still, I don't get it. But I saw the first 6 shorts, not the last 3, but so far Sith and Spy Dancer have resonated with me most. Spy Dancer appealed to the historian in me, and Sith appealed in the artist in me. I love that. Thank you, Alex. And did you both watch the English dub of the episodes, or did you watch them in different languages, depending on the country? No, I did the subtitles.
Yeah, we watched them in the English dub.
Yeah.
And for Journeys to the Dark Head, we watched it with closed captions.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Because there wasn't an English dub for that.
Mm-hmm. I love that last episode. All right. Thank you, Eric. Yeah.
I might have to rewatch it in each of the original languages.
Well, yeah, I think they were all, well, I don't know. Like I said, I had the closed captioning on. I mean, I had the subtitles on. So
yeah, but most of them came in English.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, except for the Journey to the Dark Head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a light. Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah, you say it.
There is a light in all of us, and great point about how visions tell stories beyond visions. I haven't seen the pit, but can see how it reflects real life. Yeah. Yeah. Very powerful.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's move on to something happy.
Yeah, we got the last one. Okay.
Owl Song, Triggerfish from South Africa. So this one is actually one of my favorites. It's like 4th, I'd say.
4th favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Abi, who has the father of a girl who can purify kyber crystals with their voice, he wants to take red kyber crystals and turn them blue by giving them to a Jedi named Kratu, who comes over to pick them up. But, Owl has no sense of balance, and when she starts singing, she falls over, and her father realizes that. And he warns his daughter, you can't sing around the crystals. Mm-hmm. They're volatile when your voice makes them volatile, Don't do that. But she does.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, it doesn't make the crystals explode. it purifies them. It removes the darkness.
Beautiful.
Her voice removes the darkness from the crystals.
How about that?
Isn't that amazing?
That's a beautiful story. Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, purifying the cookie crystals, man.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes, delicious pure butter cookies. Yeah, that was. Yeah, So I get the impression. I'm thinking, from a father's point of view, that he knows that his daughter has this gift, but he's just afraid on what would happen if people found out that she had the gift. And I think he was trying to suppress it. He didn't want her to use it. But then when he realized what she can do with it, then wow, because that was his job, is to try to clear these crystals, right? Because they're all red. I think that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah.
They also can burn. Like
Yes.
her father got burned.
Yes.
In the glove, of course. He had gloves on when he handled them for reasons like that.
Agree. Yeah. But again, here's another episode where her force powers does good, and
and then the Jedi whisks her off.
Well, right. So the Jedi is there to see it for herself, that this girl is special, and then once again she says, "Okay, well, you got to come with me.
Come with me now."
But I think at least in this case, I think
she asked the father first, and Al wanted to go too.
Well, I don't recall that. Well, I recall that she approached both father and daughter.
Yes, I'm saying.
And I think they were given the next day to think about it, like overnight, like sleep it over, sleep on it and let me know.
They got the option.
So yeah, I think the next morning, I think they were having breakfast or something together, and then it was time for her to go. The ship was there with the Jedi. Yeah. I think that's what I remember.
That was better.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but still young, very young.
Marginally better.
Being taken away from her family, but it's interesting.
Listen, sleep on it. I'll let you as the parent make the decision.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So, wow, we did it. Those are the 9 episodes.
I'm still awake, Dad.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you so much. Right. All right. So this is wonderful. So these, I can watch these. I've already watched them more than once. So they're pretty cool. They're wonderful. There are some that I thought were very, very well done. Some that were personal to me that, like I said.
Well, that's all.
But it's wonderful. So now we also have another series that dropped today, which is called
Young Jedi Adventures.
Yes, exactly. All right. So we are also working on that series.
That'll be coming next week.
Next week, yes. So we will have that for you next week. So tonight we just wanted to devote our time.
We interviewed the cast, by the way, and we interviewed some of the executive producers,
yes, right,
directors. So if you'd like to check those out,
yes,
links are in the description, and there are some of our most recent vids, so you can check them out on our homepage.
That's a very good point. Yes, we could put them in the description. Yeah, absolutely. So please check that out if you have not already. Okay. So if that is it, let's check to see if there are any final Q&As. Which one is your favorite short, Kerwin? I was trying to avoid that question. All right. Okay. It's got to be this.
Say something good.
Well, I am going to say something. All right. It's got to be the Spy Dancer. It's the Spy. Like I said, that was riveting to me. I think that was, funny thing. Like I said,
W's in chat for my dad.
When I said I Am Your Mother, I was completely off on what that story was about. Here.
If the mark was here.
Let me finish. So the Spy Dancer, right? So like the title just says it all, like the Spy Dancer. Okay, all right, I can see that. I didn't know if she was a ballet dancer or what kind of dancer, but this dancer apparently was a spy for the rebellion, and that's exactly what it was. But I got so much more out of it, so it was wonderful, wonderful. All right, so there's the answer.
All right,
okay.
That's all for
Q&A. All right, so. Key, where can people find us?
You can find us wherever if you'd like to listen to us. Our socials are Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fathers and Galaxy. Website, fathersandgalaxy.com. Merch store, fathersandgalaxy.myspreadshop.com. Email us at ker@fathersandgalaxy.com. And our Patreon page is, as always, patreon.com/fathersandgalaxy. Please support our Patreon page. We try to go to Japan in 2 years. Help us out, please.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
We got to start doing Duolingo.
All right. And
Purchase the family plan.
yeah, we'll look into that. Actually, you know what? I tried to do that a couple of days ago, and for some reason, something wasn't working. I don't know.
Whose iPad did you use?
It doesn't matter. I'll
Just
go
use
back.
yours.
All right, we'll figure it out. All right, but yeah,
troubleshoot.
we talked about the race to 1,000 already.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So
we're on
wonderful.
a race to 1,000 subs.
Yeah.
So please help us out.
We're almost at 900
We're almost at 900
subscribers.
So
we
as
can
of right
do
now,
it.
we are 102 subs away
We can
from
do it.
y'all getting us to 1,000.
Yes.
Every subscriber helps.
Yes.
Like, you guys mean so much to us.
Please spread
The
the
reason we
word.
create this content is because we have such a loving and supporting fan base.
Hashtag Father Son Japan trip.
Also, hashtag put butter cookies in Star Wars.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Alex.
Oh, so this is
Propaganda. Butter cookie propaganda.
all right. So thank you, everyone. So we'll be back next week, and we'll talk about Young Jedi Adventures. So until next time, take care, and we will see you again.
May the 4th be